right, so today we are in Houston, Texas at the Buffalo Soldier Museum, and it's an important day because the Army has overturned the conviction of 110 African American soldiers involved in the 1917 Houston riots, or I think it was Camp Logan Mutiny. And the Army's finally overturned their convictions, and they're having a ceremony here at the museum kind of celebrating that fact. So we're here covering that. And yeah, it's infuriating listening to what happened to some of these guys, man. It's unreal. So our group covers a lot of events, right? But we don't usually cover like big Army events. We cover a lot of local to San Antonio and specifically Fort Sam Houston events. But we do get tasked on occasion to cover bigger things outside of our like normal scope of practice, right? So to speak. But it's not often that we get to cover things like this that are like historically important. So when we get tasked with this, I'm not gonna say it was last minute, but we only had a few days to get ready for it. And especially when you deal with all the logistical issues and stuff that come with trying to go away from your home base to work, right? And it didn't help that everything kind of happened over Veterans Day weekend, and there was a lot going on this weekend. Number one, it's a holiday, it's like our holiday. Number two, there was a huge UFC Saturday. If you know me, you know I'm a big fight fan. And then the weather has not been good like for the last few days either. So we kind of had to kick it into gear, get all of our gear packed up, get all the logistical stuff packed up and sorted out and hit the road. We can't just show up and film, right? That's not the way, we don't work like a news crew, especially when you're trying to do something that's like a multi-camera thing. If news crews can come out and set up one camera and do their thing the day of, but for what we do and trying to cover stuff with multiple cameras and live streaming it out and everything, it takes a lot of gear and it takes a lot of personnel.
We are at the Buffalo Soldiers Museum in Houston. We just did a 3-hour drive from San Antonio. Wasn't too bad, little rain, for the most part, but we made it all right.
I'm working hard. We're getting ready for the shoot tomorrow. Buffalo Soldier ceremony here in the museum. Hard work, fixing graphics. That's what we do here at AMED TV, MedVid TV. We just work hard. Billy works the hardest though.
No.
They said that needs more detail.
I gotta say though, that's like been one of my favorite setups we've ever done. And one, because it's like a different place than where we normally do things, which it's always kind of interesting when you do that. But that building where the museum is in is just amazing. It's got like this hardwood floors. It's got like the brick walls, and it's like it has a vibe to it.
Nice place. A lot of history, a lot of nice memorabilia up on the walls. This should be a really good event.
Really good acoustics and everything in there. It's like just a beautiful building, and obviously it's significant to what's going on with overturning of the convictions.
And our mission is to go out to community events, community organizations and schools and teach them about the contribution of the Barracuda, or actually the Buffalo Soldiers, and their significance to the westward expansion.
Today we recognize the legacy of the 3rd Battalion, 24th Infantry Regiment, with a ceremony hosted by the Undersecretary of the Army, the Honorable Gabe Camarillo. My name is Brigadier General Ronald D. Sullivan, and it is my privilege to serve as your Master of Ceremony. especially for this event recognizing the soldiers of the 3rd Battalion, 24th Infantry Regiment. The year was 1917. The United States had just entered the First World War, and Houston, Texas was governed by racist Jim Crow laws. The 3rd Battalion, 24th Infantry, an all-black Buffalo Soldier regiment, was assigned to guard the construction site that would become Camp Logan. The soldiers came to town with patriotism in their hearts, ready to serve their country faithfully, but were met with racist provocations and physical violence. On August 23, 1917, these tensions boiled over. The soldiers of the 3rd and the 24th clashed with civilians and police in Houston, leaving 19 dead. In the aftermath, 110 men of the 3rd and the 24th were convicted after a mass court-martial in the process that was recognized at the time as unfair. 19 men were summarily executed without appellate review. Even with the backdrop of entrenched state-sanctioned racial segregation, there was an immediate public outcry about the miscarriage of justice. This led to a major overhaul in the military justice system, including establishing due process for service members and a board of review that would later become the Army Court of Criminal Appeals. I am also tremendously proud to currently serve as the chief judge of the same Army Court of Criminal Appeals created in the wake of this Houston incident.
And today, we formally announce 3 concrete steps to restore the honor taken from the soldiers of the 3rd Battalion, 24th Infantry, all those years ago. First, the Army hereby sets aside all 110 court-martial convictions of 324 soldiers stemming from the events of August 23, 1917. And second, we direct the correction of military records to show honorable discharge for the 95 soldiers of 324 not restored to duty. Third and finally, in partnership with the VA, we've established a mechanism to deliver survivor benefits to families long denied the financial resources owed to them.
I was just thinking about the event, and I think it went pretty well. There's some things that could have went better, but there's things that could have went worse as well. And that's just the nature of the beast when you're dealing with like live events, live productions and stuff. So
yeah, everyone worked together good. Production went off pretty well.
The event went well, really successful, really moving event too, so it was quite informative.
The event went about as well as it could. It was awesome. The team here did everything that we normally do. We took over, especially the couple of curveballs they had where they didn't have an audio person to come in for the event, so we were able to cover that. They didn't have a graphic to put at the beginning on the screens, so we went and put up that and then ran everything through. Everyone was extremely happy and everything worked well.
Very emotional. It was a lot of history that I didn't know, and providing support for the ceremony was unbelievable because people were talking from the heart and from the past, and I didn't know that they were, hanged. I thought they were shot, but see, that's part of history I didn't know anything about. It was really heartfelt, emotional. I was trying to do my job and not cry at the same time, but it was great. It was a good ceremony.
I mean, to me, the greatest thing about it is just the ability to get the story out there. because that's a piece of history that a lot of people don't know, and a lot of people don't choose to kind of dig into, but it's heart-wrenching to know what has happened and how things have kind of evolved.
The idea of, there is no limit on when justice should be done, and I think that's one of the events that happened here. An injustice was made, and this is the U.S. government trying to actually, make it right.
It was cool for me to be a part of something that was historic, important, and interesting all at the same time. It's rare that you get like all three of those, in your day job. That's why this job is so fulfilling, right? I think my final takeaway is that it's cool that the U.S. government and specifically the U.S. Army will eventually get it right. It may not be right away, but it's like eventually it'll be made right. I think that's a lot about how our society is in America, where, in the moment it may not be right, but we try to learn from our mistakes and things. So, I don't know, take that for whatever it's worth.
Remember the times that we went through and know that we still have work to do in the present, and just a constant reminder of like the bad things that happened. And this is just one of many stories that have, and this is a known story, I guess you could say. There's probably several others that are untold. It's just a good idea. It's good for our able to like reinforce these values and remember the things that we've come from so that we can be better as a nation going forward.